Welcome to your Actives EU Tweets of the Week. This week, it's election. Spitzenkandidaten anticipate rejection, and EU leaders tussle over selection. This episode is supported by Amphori. Find out more about their big event at the end. Last week saw a bumper turnout across the continent for the European elections. Voter numbers were up to a huge degree in what many saw as a turning point for the EU. However, Martini Seltzemeyer seemed unimpressed. For the 9th consecutive time, the EU has won the EU elections, he said. The big story, however, was the so-called Green Wave. They will now be a force to be reckoned with in the Parliament. Meanwhile, the grand coalition of the EPP and the S&D took a beating, although, as Frédéric Simon pointed out, the coalition actually collapsed halfway through this term. The predicted swing to the far right didn't quite materialise. Indeed, Donald Tusk said voters drew conclusions from Brexit, describing it as a vaccine against anti-EU propaganda and fake news, reported Jennifer Rankin. But Matteo Salvini's La Lega dominated in Italy, something George Andriopoulos said will cause headaches in Brussels, and Nigel Farage's Brexit party took more seats than any other individual national party in the European Parliament. Sling as many milkshakes as you like, it seems nothing sticks to him. In France, Macron lost out to Marine Le Pen's national rally, but his support of the Liberals in the European Parliament saw the new ALDE Renaissance group surge to a comfortable third place, which could see them, along with the Greens, in the position of kingmaker when it comes to choosing the next Commission president, or indeed queenmaker, as Ska Keller pointed out. After the dust settled in the early hours of Monday morning, the real horse trading started, as pointed out by, well, just about everyone on Twitter. But it's a phrase BBC's Adam Fleming is going to stop using after accidentally calling Commissioner Vestager a horse to her face. Jack Parrock also reminded the Spitzenkandidaten that until the process is complete, they are nothing more than horses. And as the candidates started jostling for position, EU leaders met to eyeball each other and start bickering over who would get the top job. Or lock horns, or spar, or row, or face off over. Yes, indeed, Burly Monster, the Brussels press pack was indeed pounding the thesaurus again. The FT's Marine Khan reported that the dinner to discuss the top jobs would be super secretive. Leaders would be denied even phone signal in the room to stop leaks. The S&D's Frans Timmermans and EPP's Manfred Weber are both still front and centre, but with both groups taking a big hit in the elections, the wind may be out of their sails. Margaret Vestager is starting to look like the safe bet, as even the bookies and Dave Keating certainly noticed. But then there's Michel Barnier, who is being pushed by President Macron. Although experienced and very well known for pissing off the British, the Frenchman wasn't part of the original Spitzen lineup, which could put him out of the running. However, despite saying he didn't want to name names, Macron immediately mentioned Margaret Vestager, Frans Timmermans and Michel Barnier as potential candidates, reported Euractiv's Beatrice Rios. And speaking of the British, Theresa May turned up again to the council informal dinner like a ghost at the feast. This week, we are supported by Amphori. Don't miss their Open and Sustainable Trade Conference on 17th and 19th of June. More than 20 breakout sessions, exciting speakers, and networking with industry leaders. You can find out how to register by following them on Twitter. And follow us on Twitter because there's more again next Friday. Follow us using the hashtag EUTweets.